Fire in the hole, let's cook some ribs. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome once again to my backyard. What I got going for you today is I got a couple of slabs of baby back ribs that I'm removed the membrane from the bone side of the ribs. And what I'm going to do now is what I almost always do. I'm going to take some Sang stir fry oil and slather them down with that. That's what I use for a binder, and I use it because it's got a beautiful garlicky flavor. That's going to enhance these ribs. We're making a wine barbecue sauce for these today. I can't wait to do this. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, we get our Sang stir fry oil on there. Then I've got some of my, this is my Rootboy Rub #1 in a fancy container. If you buy some Rootboy Rub from me, you don't get the fancy container, you get a plastic bottle. And if you want to get some, go down in the description of this video. If you're a cheapskate and you feel lucky, then why don't you leave a comment on this description, give me a thumbs up, be a subscriber, and I'll give away some of my awesome Rootboy Rub #1, which we're going to liberally coat our ribs with. Rub #1 is salt, pepper, and garlic. It's got a few other spices in there aside from salt, pepper, and garlic, but that's mostly what's in it. And the thing is, this is a kind of a savory rub. This is not really a barbecue rub. And actually, I kind of misnamed it by calling it Rootboy Rub, which I called it that because, you know, I wanted to call it Rootboy Rub kind of for the alliteration, you know, RR. But it's actually an all-purpose seasoning. Like I said, it's got mostly salt, pepper, and garlic, kosher salt, large grain coarse pepper, and garlic, and it's got some other herbs and spices in it too. I've got my ribs rubbed down. Gonna let them sit a little bit, hook them up, get them in the pit barrel, and then we'll make this wine sauce. So stay tuned. Let's make this wine barbecue sauce. This stuff's awesome. We're gonna start this out with just a little bit of Sang stir fry oil, just to get our veggies cooked in, just a drop. And I've got 6 cloves of garlic finely minced up. You get that in there. 6 cloves of garlic minced up. My pan's not really hot enough yet, but that's okay. Then I've got an onion that I grated, a medium onion. We're going to put that in there with the onion juice and all, the grated onion. Let me tell you what, if you're going to grate an onion, get ready to cry, because that was quite an experience, boy. Let me tell you what, it's worth it to grate the onion to get a fine, you know, a fine onion paste, like. But yeah, you will cry, I guarantee it. So let me get that rocking and rolling, and then when that gets going, I'll bring you right back for the next part of this. The onions and garlic have gotten translucent, so now what we're going to do is put some seasoning in there. And of course I'm going to use my Rootboy Rub #1. If you don't have any of this, you're too cheap to buy it, just put some salt, pepper, and garlic. But it's got some other stuff in there that's going to really enhance the flavor of this sauce. You should really go down in the description and get yourself some. I'm just telling you, I'm just saying. So we got the seasoning on there. Next thing we got to have is a cup of ketchup. So we're going to put a whole cup of your favorite chup in there. And this is becoming a real barbecue sauce now, because that's the basic ingredient of most barbecue sauces, chup. Ketchup. There we go. That's a cup of chup. Get that cooking in the onions and garlic and my seasoning blend. Looks good already. Okay. Now the chup is sweet, but we're going to add some sweetness to it with some clover honey. About a half a cup of clover honey. So we've got a really sweet sauce going here. But what we got to do is we got to put some savory elements in this too. That's about a half a cup of clover honey. Then we're going to put in a couple of tablespoons of red wine vinegar. We're using red wine vinegar instead of apple cider vinegar or any other vinegar because this is a red wine barbecue sauce. So let's get that mixed up. Get that cooking. Pretty basic sauce so far, but let's show you the magic of this. In about, oh man, that smells good. Oh man, that onions and garlic really set it off. Okay, so we've got honey and ketchup. Next thing we want to get in there is a shot of the Rooster sriracha. And I know all my chawhead friends are going, yeah, put more, put more. You just want a little bit in there just to give it a little kick. That's all you need, a little bit of sriracha. There you go. And it wouldn't be a red wine sauce without some red wine, right? I've got a nice Chianti. And whenever I hear the word Chianti, I think of, did you see that? I think of Hannibal Lecter. But we need about a cup of Chianti. Red wine. About a cup of that in there. Does that look like about a cup? A little more? Chianti. Good stuff. Good stuff, Chianti wine. Okay, we're going to mix that all up. And we're going to cook that until it reduces by half. And that's going to be our barbecue sauce for our red wine ribs. So let me just let that cook a while. And then we'll come back. It'll thicken up when it cooks. It's going to be good. My ribs got to go for 3 hours in the smoke. Then we'll wrap them for 2 hours. Then we'll sauce them. So stay tuned. My baby back ribs have been wrapped for 2 hours. It's time to get the wrap off them and get some of that sauce on there. Can't wait to see how they turned out. Oh, they're juicy as can be. Oh man, this smells good. Let me tell you, oh man, I got some good pullback on the bone. Let me tell you what. Get that wrap off of there. Oh boy, look at that. Woohoo! That's looking good. Get this one unwrapped. Oh yes. Yes, yes, yes. Got some good pullback on the bone. Those ribs look good enough to eat without any sauce. Let's put some sauce on there. Let's put some of that awesome wine sauce on my ribs. We'll let them sit for another hour to set that sauce up. Look at that sauce. Oh. Woo! Oh boy, does that look good? Or what? Yes, sir, that's some awesome sauce right there. I want to reserve some of it for dipping. Get that on there. We'll let that set up for about an hour. Then it'll be time to drink a beer and take a taste. How's that look? Not too shabby. Okay, stay tuned. My ribs are done. There's the frosty Rootboy mug. Here's today's beer. This is from the Prairie Artisan Ales Brewing Company. This is Twist, it's called. And this is a dry hop farmhouse ale. Prairie Artisan Ales Twist. I've always wanted to have a beer from this company. I've never been able to. Well, today's going to change all that. Let's pour this out and see what it's all about. It's a very, very pale ale. And it's a farmhouse ale. I don't know too much about farmhouse ales. But that's what this is. Dry hopped farmhouse ale. What's the ABV? 5% ABV. It's got a lot of head on it. I know some guys like a lot of head. I don't particularly care for it, but whatever. Yeah, Prairie Artisan Ales Twist. It's got a very artsy cover. Twist. It's got a representation of a couple of people. I guess they're twisting. I guess that's what that is. Anyway, let's sniff the froth off that. What do you think, Lasse? Oh yeah, it smells great. It smells very hoppy. The dry hopping, I guess, does it. Let's quaff the froth off it, Lasse. What do you think? It's got a kind of a bit of a sour. It's kind of a hazy hazy looking beer, and it's got a kind of a sour taste to it. Sour citrus taste. It's a farmhouse ale. I'm not familiar with farmhouse ales, but I like it. I like it a lot. That's good stuff. Prairie Artisan Ales. Let's get some ribs over here and take a taste. What do you think? How's that look? Not too shabby, huh? Let me grab one of them. You know, the meat was just falling off the bone, and I really don't like that. I know a lot of people do. I'm trying to find one I can grab right here. I think maybe I can grab this one. Oh boy. And that sauce is amazing. Let me tell you what. Let me get a bite of that. Huh. That's a winner. Mmm. That's a winner. That's a great recipe, a great sauce. You got to try it. Look at that's good. Oh boy. That's awesome. Awesome ribs. Awesome beer. You know what I always say? If you like this crap, please subscribe. If you don't, I want to send you over to someone. I forgot again. This happens to me every time. I had somebody in mind for an iCard and I can't remember who it is, and I'm very sorry. But I'll put the iCard up there. If you like this crap, please subscribe. If you don't, go up and see whoever's in the iCard. I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot. Come back next week. We may not cook anything good, but we will drink a beer. This is a farmhouse ale. I'm not familiar with it. It's kind of a hazy, sour ale. It's very refreshing though. Very refreshing to have a kind of a sour ale. Anyway, that's my video, babies. Come back next week. We may not cook anything good, but we will drink a beer. And maybe next week I could remember what the hell I'm thinking about. Any chance of that? I doubt it. Bye.